The composition by T1. Polo going to take the Braum. We did see fantastic Braum performance from Peter earlier on, but this will mean that a lot of the engage onus is going to be on players like Morgan.
Dragon is going. He'll be flashing for a 50-50 though.
It's feeling a little bit like a 4v3, but the Drake does go over to the Bros, and T1 will
look at things here. Less hype rotates over. I mean, Kroko has ult. They're just so slow with this. I feel like they're going to contest. They needed to do it moments ago, and they're just simply going to give this up.
Yep, I think they realized that they weren't actually able to do it. Still had to deal with the minion wave towards the top side of the map, and so the Bros just going to give the grubs, and they'll look to fight elsewhere. Closer in this mid lane, still doing okay. As you can see, he's keeping that health bar in a really good spot up against Faker.
Really impressive from Closer. Just also how much confidence he had. And that allows him to catch the aggression from Owner, but now he's going to get a stun at least.
Yeah. Crocker is just going to push Faker away. Grand Starfall now available for the Pantheon, as now Polo looking for an angle, but it's Owner that comes on through. He gets stunned up though. The Arcane Storm comes down. Magnus Storm's there as well. It's Stormy here in this bottom lane as Faker gets into the back line. Croco goes down first. Polo second to follow. And T1 just wiped 2 off the map. They're just too clean.
That wasn't quite what I had in mind when I mentioned the Pantheon. I wasn't really being that aggressive, wasn't looking for anything, as Closer is the next target and the next victim.
Yeah, this gravity field is doing a lot of work, as we can see. Carrier is going to go down. The teleport from Morgan comes on in there, as now Faker looking to turn it onto hype. Melee range with this Sylas is not where the Misfortune wants to be, as that bullet time, it was time for something else, I think, in that particular moment. Morgan's going to be able to take down Owner, though. The first real advantage. It is going to be feats of strength going over to T1 as well, as this top lane outer turret falls down. Doran kind of getting massive, which is a little bit of a problem. However, the gold is not, it's not in a ridiculous lead for T1.
No!
Now Faker also going to be face checking here. Croco and Polo there, Closer with the damage, and this Sylas is going to try its very best to get out. It's not going to work. And so the Bros pulling closer and closer with T1 once again.
How do you like hide on bush?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's going to be, it looks like, potentially a turret in exchange here. Now, they did make this play successfully because Owner was on the other side of the map, but that also means Owner is going to get the Herald for free, so that's going to be a lot of damage potentially put into this mid turret. That's sitting at like 60-ish%.
Yep.
So 1 turret apiece as Closer finishes off that bottom turret. I'm just not going to allow that. You guys push up bottom side, Doran push bottom side. We get Prio for Dragon. We already have Prio mid. I TP top. I deny them that turret in exchange, and we get the Dragon. It's like these moments where you can see T1 are thinking like 3 steps ahead, and Bro just end up with nothing.
Yeah. Bro also, I feel like, had an opportunity to play for that soul, but they just didn't really look interested. As now Doran, speaking of not being interested, he probably would prefer not to die here as the public execution does go down. Polu going to turn up there as well, and yeah, with Winter's Bite stacking up, down he will go. Concussive flows, sorry, is more. And the Rift Herald going to be getting a charge, so it's likely going to cut open this mid lane as Doran looking for some of that needlework. Of course, you need to land it here to get all of that sustain that the Gwen does have. And Kerry is moving up. Morgan just not going to quite find it here as he looks to try and dash away, but the Shattering Strike comes in, and Doran, he's running with scissors. He's real. 2 minutes on the Dragon, so they don't have to deal with both of them just yet. As now Gumiushi could be in trouble. He has to flash to get out of the way of the Winter's Bite there, as well as now Owner might be paying for his sins. Morgan getting amongst it, and the Crescent Guard not quite working, but Croco also down extremely low. Guma takes so long to go down, but Doran, he's not immune. Neither is Carrier, and Faker realizing that he's going to have to cut his losses. This could just be Otacon time for the Bros. See what the answer is here from T1. Ambessa on that top side of the map to teleport in from the Gwen to start this one off. Gravity Well now on cooldown as in comes Morgan. It's a 5v5, it's going to be honest, but that Magnus Storm is so good, and the Bros are going down so low. Croco able to grab Soul Point, but can they actually stay alive in the fight? That's the question. Grand Starfall, and he just exits. All right. And they just call for the disengage.
Yeah, very close to dying anyways, but he is able to channel it and get away. Closer's going to clear this wave. Can he actually get the turret here? That would be massive. He's just got these 2 ranged minions, and I think he has just enough damage to take this one out. He's going to have to do 1 more shot, and he'll get it. And I think he gets away too. Doran is the only one nearby, and he's got his buddy there. Now they're losing Otacon, of course, for this, but I think that went about as well as it could have for Bro after that fantastic Magnet Storm from Keria. This time, he has the ultimate.
100%. 30 seconds now on the Chemtech Soul as well. Shattering Strike comes down. There's the Chain CC. Magnet Storm as they commit onto Hype, who has to flash very early in this fight. Ona dashing forward, but there's Polu with the save. Crescent Guard does come on down as now the rest of the cavalry will turn up. Ona, the first one to fall, is Hype using that Bloodthirster to get his health bar back. It's a good Deadly Flourish to try and save Keria, but the Grand Starfall gets Croco in, and down he goes. I'm not entirely sure about that particular play as now T1 feeling like this is their opportunity, but Morgan gets into that backline as Gumayusi's in so much trouble. Still, so much burst damage onto him. And the Bros, they managed to take down Ona, but Croco, just in light of fairness, is going to throw his life away as well.
He said jungle for jungle.
Yeah, that's the trade.
And they are going to be able to turn. It's still a one-team fight, even though it's a one-for-one. Like, they won the subsequent fight, so T1, lower health bar, is not able to contest. I mean, they're trying to come over here. A big flank from Doran.
Yeah, and Faker actually had the Grand Starfall. The Bros trying to get back into position, and they may have bitten off more than they could chew. Closer trying to do what he can here with his AoE damage, but down goes Hype. Gumayusi stands his ground, and even though the gravity field is good, it's not good enough. It's a triple here for the Gwen as Keria with some supportal combat against Polu. He gets the Gromp involved, and Gumayusi's delivered a kill. That is soul denial, and it's a bit soul-crushing as well for the Bro Leavers.
It certainly is. T1 taking a significant gold lead off of this. Faker's already got his eyes on, is nowhere near, and ends up just exploding. But they end up winning the subsequent fight. Now they're on Baron.
Oh god, oh god, oh god. Okay, well Croco is just going to get executed, and the Baron will go over to T1. Baron plays in T1. They're pretty good at it, and that is going to
win. The later part of it, the second version of it, you could say, is what gets them the Baron. They deny Croco entry, no 50-50, no smite steal, a dead jungler. And like you said, T1 are going to turn this into an 8K plus gold lead, very likely.
Yeah, that's the danger. So far, haven't really picked up too much. Is now Hype able to sidestep very nicely. But Croco is fighting with Doran, and Doran is just fighting with the turret. And he's going to win that battle. Is Croco going to have to flash over the wall? Hype with these auto attacks is pretty scary, and Faker having to go golden, but he's still going to die. And the Arcane Storm, we were talking about the fact that T1 pretty good at ballooning it. I think with that last play, doesn't quite work out, as Croco is possibly once again dead. Keria able to use the Magnet Storm and get out, but Croco will survive for the moment. Bullets flying on in here as Ona on a ward right now, and Gumayusi will find the last shot, take down the Pantheon.
Closer hates Croco confirmed.
Yeah.
What was that?
That's so unfair.
No, it just wasn't even necessary.
You just stand in front of him, man. As Dagon also a little bit upset about it, but that interruption from Polu, the president, might be making things happen, and the Lord decrees that it is time to get into the backline and win this game. The Gwen gonna go down, and Morgan is still up, pushing Faker away, but Faker does manage to take down Closer. It's a lot of the DPS now missing. Ona now as well. Wind becomes lightning, but he's getting hunted down.
Will Morgan find him? I think the answer is yes.
Yep, Guma trying to escape, but the captive audience, Deadly Flourish, and he just does a lot. So, yeah.
He's reloaded, and he has enough DPS to shoot 4 times at an Amessa who's rooted, and he does. This Baron is just gone.
Yeah, we don't have any scrying ability, and it's just going to get taken down. So the Bros, they're going to choose a different time to fight. Is what I expect.
I just don't think they could have fought there unless Croco just ults in and they just
yeah,
go
but then
for
Croco is definitely just dead.
Yeah. And I mean, they denied him last time, so he's probably got bad memories and he doesn't want to do it. But I don't think there was much of an option there for Bro. But sit back and give Baron and let T1 win the game is not really the option I was looking for. Is Croco?
Yeah, he's going to have to flash, but he's probably dead. Yeah, and by probably, I mean definitely.
If you're going to be there, you might as well just ult the Baron pit.
Very true.
I'm being mean, but I don't know. That's going to cost them big, because now that's no flank angle, real way to shut down this Baron at all. I mean, not for 40 more seconds while he's in the death chamber.
Well, now Morgan has found Faker and Keria trying to get something done here in this mid lane. Morgan does do a fair bit of work. As you can see, the rest of the Bros are going to turn up. So this tower will survive. So you can see T1, they are pulling them around. Doran still pushing towards that top side, and Faker just immediately teleports back. Like you say, they are so good at making sure that you have to be aware of everything.
The 1-3-1 power, when you have this much control over the map, I mean, it kind of plays itself. You just go to the lanes and let the minions do the work and start sieging up from forever away.
Yep, and there it is. Tower goes down. Ona goes in immediately as the Arcane Storm is down. Closer goes golden, and now Hype in the back line. has his GA pop very, very early in this one. Doran's running with scissors all over the place. And that is just so much, too much for the Bros to deal with. Croco goes down. Doran's underneath 2 Nexus turrets and just goes golden and says, this is totally fine. They'll take these ones down, and T1 move to 1-0 in their match against the Bros, looking to get revenge for round 1.
Oh, and a
Yushi.
huge cheer to the crowd.
Yeah, you can see, like, I think Goom probably heard it as well. Bit of a sly grin on his face as well. Not necessarily known for this pick.
I mean, a pick, frankly, that he for some pressure more. Faker's flash still down. He used his charm.
Charm doesn't actually hit onto anything at all, but Owner is moving in here. Threaded volley doing a fair bit of work as Croco just trying to bide his time as now Faker getting on in there, and Croco is in so much trouble. He flashes, he finds the Q! And the monkey will live! The doggos don't find the daggers either, and Closer is now looking to finish off Owner if he can. Carrier comes in, and that is going to be the cow saying no to all these shenanigans.
Wow.
A lot of animals in the mid lane, but a big win for the Bros.
Flash Q from Croco, and Doran's in trouble now.
Wait, the flash forward, the goalies, the Maiden! Are they going to be able to get the kill?
Once again, solid early is Faker. Where are you at?
Oh dear.
Rocks are down.
Yeah, the rocks go down, and Faker not going to be able to do too much about getting out of the way of this one. It's good charm onto Closer, but I don't think it's going to save him, and it in fact does not.
Potentially aware of this. See what he decides to do. They're going to get a plate at worst case scenario, but I think they're going to get a Jace too. As here comes the Wukong.
Yes, I think Doran getting the idea that he's going to have to try and clear out the wave. The Ghoulie wall comes down, the arrow sails on through, so does the True Shot Barrage. That's pretty
Get
good.
this demolished proc he didn't get a second ago, and it's just gone.
Yep.
That doesn't cancel teleports anymore, so he may be dead. I think there was a real window for T1 to try to do something a little bit more aggressive while Closer was showing there on the bottom lane and try to make something happen for this Herald, but they instead kind of slow-played it. Faker was a very long rotation down to the bottom lane. And now Morgan's going to get this turret for free. He doesn't need the Herald for this one. And I don't know if Faker will be able to say the same about this bottom turret. He has Owner with him, but others are coming down. Closer has Weaver's Wall, and he's going to get a lot of this not known to be down 2 turrets at 20 minutes, you know? This is a quite unusual situation as Morgan.
It's a really long lane, by the way. There's the Morning Mist, and there is the Ghoulie wall. Doran is just dead. He didn't even need to shovel him.
Solo kill.
Yeah, that was, well, it was more of like a 5-person kill because there was like 3 Ghoulies, a Maiden, and a Yorick.
Arrow missed. Solo kill.
Well, I mean, that's actually what it was.
You know, if Hype stole the kill with the arrow, I don't know if we'd feel good or bad about it.
I think we'd just have a giggle.
Yeah.
That's probably where I'd be at. As, yeah, Morgan's like, okay, my minions are better than yours,
I mean, he's so big. He has Shojin.
Yeah, look at
this.
this.
Him if he doesn't
He's able to flip out of there. But now it's Gumayushi's turn. Faker comes in. Great sidestep. I think Morgan is definitely dead, but he's demonstrating that he's pretty scary. Gets a bunch of his health back. He's running around in circles. The Ghoulie wall is cute. And the Maiden is going to go down. So Maidenless and dead is Morgan, but Otacon is also dead.
Yeah, I liked it when he killed Doran. That was the good part. The rest
that was the good part.
Was kind of cool because they got Otacon. It looked a little bit funny, but so many people have to come to deal with the side lane pressure threat. That is exactly what you want with your side laner.
If Doran dies again, then it's 100% worth, as he has to go in because he knows that he's dead. Good flash comes out there, but Closer puts himself in. The Cyclone from Croco is extraordinary, and they just keep the doggo in the sky, and Closer survives.
Yeah, untarget all this!
Yeah, exactly, as the turret also goes down as the cannon minion.
And then down.
Yep, and now Faker is looking to get a dive onto Closer here. Seismic Shove actually headbutted into, that was so weird.
Not on my mid laner!
Yeah, they are all defending Closer. Saving Private Closer, that's kind of the way here for the Bros, I guess.
And so many T1 members top side, and guess who's on the bottom side, split pushing and looking for an inner turret with Demolish procs at the ready. It's my man Morgan.
Yep, and now Doran is fighting Croco. I think my money's on Croco if it's a fair 1v1. As Morgan, yeah, like this is just gone. The Maiden going to be put back together. Morgan no longer Maidenless as he gets this wave put together.
Back into the game for T1 unless they make a mistake.
Oh, there's a flash forward as over the wall goes Croco. He's got another section of Cyclone here. I'm pretty sure there it is. He uses it to make his escape. The Seismic Shove delivers the dog over towards the Bros. and they will say thanks for that one. It's not the hot dog this time.
Morgan's getting involved, but this is a scary angle here for Bro.
Yeah, Bro really want the turn, and they are going to find it here as down goes the Talia. Morgan gets in amongst it, though, as the goalie wall is down. Paulo looking to try and make something happen. The flash forward from Hype's crazy, but it just might work. As down goes Gumayushi in that backline. Morgan is making sure no one else can get
side
in.
lane to side lane. And now looking for more onto Faker. Good charm.
Yeah, and now Faker is kind of in a box. They do put the wall down, but the seismic shove going to pull him back, and man, he had absolutely nowhere to go.
Morgan, I don't think so. I don't think this inhibitor turret's got it, man. I don't think so.
Doran is shoveling, man, and he's shoveling strongly. Doran comes on over. He's going to stop the inhibitor.
When Bro don't make mistakes and play the macro game perfectly, using the Talia so well.
Well, Faker is, yeah, speaking of caster curses, they are real. And the arrow going to connect onto Carrier, who uses the ultimate to deny it. So down goes Closer. Paulo going to taxi on the crab and does manage to evict the doggo. But the Bros now in a whole lot of trouble. One after the other, they are going down. As at least it was the decoy that fell there. The flash charm going to be able to pick up Croco, but the goalie wall will just deny. Owner able to front flip his way out. But there is the Warrior Trickster from Croco. He has to use the flash as well, though, as Owner going to get slowed down. There's the blast cone. Morgan
on the edge. Hype can't get through, and T1 off of the skirmish will take the Baron.
Yep, teleport going to come in from Closer. We'll see how many Barons they can actually take off the map, off the back end of this one. I think Doran is definitely dead, as they're just trying to work out whether they can get anyone else. So here's the consolation Jace, and T1 absolutely happy.
I wonder if Bro could just push this naked inhibitor in the bottom lane and try to take that out before T1 can get reset here. Send somebody down there. Faker teleports to the turret. Arrow?
Yeah, going to get the ulti out of Faker. Should mean that this inner turret is going to fall down. So against the flow of play, Bro going to be able to at least
almost got the turret. Good try.
Dearie me. Well, there goes the shield.
You don't have turrets.
Heroic charge comes on in. Weaver's Wall going to block him off, so that is just a free kill onto the Jace.
I mean, there's turrets everywhere for Bro. Like, T1 only got the mid turret. Every other turret is alive. So Doran has to go so deep and like, can't kill the turret. Then he's just cut off by a Weaver's Wall, and that's the inhibitor. You know, it's just stuff like this that is Bro running circles around what is it, a very attempted Baron power play, but barely in the positives. Faker picks up that top side turret. They're second of the game. But Bro are like, cool, it's your Baron. We're getting more. Inhibitor down, and now threatening the mid inhibitor turret as Faker returns home. But this is the end of the Baron, and it's not a positive.
It's not. And the arrow going to connect on to Carrier, who doesn't press the ulti button, holds onto that one intelligently as well. There's now Morgan throwing out some mist, but as you can see, it's Hype getting to work on the second inhibitor for the Bros. And the base is getting so small here for T1.
Any mistakes?
They're not. And they're putting the Eric into the only other side of the map that does have an inhibitor. As I say that, he's teleporting into the mid lane.
Two of them in the bottom lane. I don't think T1 can win this, or maybe a steal.
Crucial Barrage was cute.
Fairly close.
Yeah,
kill Morgan is just not realistic.
And also, when you've got two inhibitors down, it just makes this play so comfortable. The Unbreakable Will onto Carrier there as the Charm will connect as Morgan is making his way over, but I don't think you're winning that 1v1 as the flash forward from Paulo is massive. The triple knock-up from Croco as well on this Wukong. Gumayushi goes down and Carrier alongside him. And Doran, of course, is dead at the same time. Faker still in this 1v1 as the Blast Cone might save his life. And the popcorn for Dagon is tasting better and better as the Bros look to knock down the Nexus and bring us to a Game 3. Oh, what a day for a 6-gamer, Wolf.
Oh, man, back-to-backs, in fact. And Bro said, then we get the insta-lock Shen.
Oh, God.
Top lane.
You know, I've actually been, I've been watching this guy. I've forgotten his name, and I really should be able to credit him, but I've been watching a bunch of, like, Shen videos on YouTube.
You know what?
Like full games
years
of
ago, actually, Bulldog's debut year. Here comes Croco.
Yeah, he's walking over Vision. But of course, Carrier wanting to use his grand exit in order to make this one work. The Pillar of Filth goes down, and now Gumayushi on the other side of the rift. Let's see whether this Feather Recall is going to work out. It's Croco that eats all of them. The Ebb and Flow doing so much work. And there's one more auto, and that is going to do it. Chef's kiss there for
Despite dying there in the bottom lane. Very even game here. Really only that first blood, the difference maker, but the Dragon...
I actually didn't see the culling go out. I had to see that it was on cooldown.
They saw Owner was coming up too.
Yeah, and Hype dashes forward. That's a bit dangerous. He's going to flash out with the grand entrance onto 2 as Owner looking to close the gap, and he finds it. The bleed is ticking down from that Q as now Faker taking a lot of damage. Croco is at full health, and he's still pushing forward. There are 4 people here, Croco.
Yeah, that was very scary. Yeah. And I mean, I think obviously it's going to be really nice for him in situations like this too, where things get a little bit brawly.
Hype gonna get flashed on there by Faker. Ona gonna come on over as well. There is the dash forward, and the kill goes over to Faker. You can see Ona holds the auto.
Early days, of course, but
ooh, bubble looking pretty nice here as Carrier going to get denied as Croco puts down the pillar. And there's a big old shield, but it's not going to be enough. The tidal wave going to get a cute little knock up onto Faker here. But now Hype moving on in. Will he be able to find any value? That's the question. There's the culling right on top of Gumayusi. And yeah, their health bars are getting lower, but I don't think the Bros are going to be able to finish anyone off.
It's going to be really hard. I don't think they should try for it without Palu's ult here.
Stand United was interrupted as well. Morgan tried to use it to get in.
These skirmishes, especially the burst damage that this Talon does bring to the table, but
shoved up. Closer picking things up from the ground. Ona now possibly out of position as he dives onto Croco. Croco gonna get a big old shield as the bubble is decent. There's a knock-up from Polo as well, but only lands onto Gumayusi, as now the culling from Hype zones them really nicely. Doran able to get himself out of there with the leap strike, but the trouble bubble is going to come through. Closer, can he find the paddle star? The answer is not quite enough damage as Hype wanting to get it done, but the counter strike was so good, still he just flashes in. That's the way to get it done. They'll take down. Oh, Closer, sometimes you can actually get that one through. It's still gonna land the paddle star. That looks pretty nice.
And Faker takes a big chunk of damage. Croco is still here, by the way. Faker's already dashed. The pillar looking for Guma.
The pillar is such high value alongside this Zoe as Gumayusi's in so much trouble. The jump! And it's going to be Croco that takes him down. Still, the bubble connects onto Carrier. And it's a 1-for-1 trade. Closer picks up a flash, and he may need it. But the trouble bubble going to come through there. The flash comes forward, and Hype's going to look for another one. Doran is respawned and come back in, and will just eliminate the rest of the Bros. Figure it out. I looked at the top of the screen. I'm like, oh, it's only 18.5 minutes into this game.
It's so fun to watch. Oh, hold that thought.
Oh, nice little electrocute proc there from Hype.
On with like, okay, 100% we know how to set up on this dragon, and then watching this, where you're like, do we go Dragon? Do we go Herald? Better just call randomly, I don't know.
Well, in they go. There's a big old tidal wave. This is crazy. Polo is going to explode, but look at these health bars. Here, and of course, Zoe is so feast or famine. Either you hit it or you do nothing at all. As the bubble comes in, he does collect himself a bit of a sleepy time. The exhaust goes down on top of him, and he's going to try and get out, but I think he's still dead. So there is the first kill.
They need more.
And Otacon, that would be huge.
I mean, I think that's, the Otacon might be a bridge too far, but at least they do get the and just stand united with his team when the commit to this Drake take does actually come through from T1. Flank here from Croco.
Yeah, Bro, I think wanting to get themselves soul point this time around is Doran on a great flank angle.
Zoning sleep pretty good.
Yep, Stand United gonna have to come in pretty soon, I think. A preemptive one would be great, as there it is on top of Hype. That's a lot of damage onto Carrier, though, not able to get too much value, as finally Morgan actually gets into a battle. Still, the Zoe goes down and Doran gets a great counter-strike. The flash out from Croco might keep him alive, but Morgan not gonna be so lucky. Everyone just lying on the floor, and unfortunately, the composition for the Bros just not quite working this time around, as there's the rake, and he just pops over the wall, and there it is.
Yeah, just like dried leaves, the end of autumn, down he will go. And this is going to be mid-turret for free. By the way, Herald not even employed just yet.
Oh, no, Shelly.
Still in training, in fact, yeah.
All right, so she does have a job. She just hasn't turned up
Laps
yet.
on Faker 4 just kind of ends up being a bunch of wasted members as Croco's now isolated.
Yeah, he was trying to work out which direction he wanted to go, and Death Chamber, that's the way.
Hey, there she is.
Hey, hello.
Tuesday comes faster than you think.
It certainly does.
It's going to be quite challenging, though, to get something done. Carrier eats a bit of damage, but it's too late.
Yep. Owner is going to be able to secure that one. Now looking for a flank angle as well. Speaking of flanks, Doran will find, okay, a bubble. And so that's going to connect as Polo is just dead. The Shadow Assault just a little bit much there as Hype running out of people protecting him. And in fact, there are none left as Morgan tries to get on top of Gumayusi. And Gumayusi says, thanks for the taunt. That was cute. And nothing else going to really come of it. Croco has just respawned. And the Bros, I think, have ran out of ergs in this particular game.
I do feel like the Dragon fight was probably the last gasp of this interesting experiment as Croco's going to try to buy time.
Oh, look at that.
Slow down that wave.
There's the pillar. Really beautifully done.
Need 20 more seconds. Need 20 more seconds. But yeah, we knew that Owner was good at carry jungles and assassins, so that's not a shock. But everything else for Bro here was very experimental. It did not work out. Croco tries to buy time here. 10 seconds.
He's just being ignored.
They don't care about him. They want to kill the Nexus.
Yeah, T1 just wants to go home. Eventually he gets swept up by Faker, who goes golden, and he'll remain golden as the Nexus explodes. T1, there was a bit of a hiccup there in game.